don't you go feeling sorry for me. You can feel sorry for the rest of them, but don't you go feeling sorry for me. No. The way I see it, he did me a favour. Yeah, he took the sin off me hands. What I mean is, it's a sin to take your own life. Well, that's what the good book says. You take your own life, go straight down. That's what my mum always used to tell us. It's a sin to even think about doing it. I could have never done it. I would have never had the nerve. Ugh. But there have been many times these past few years when it occurred to me that I wouldn't be exactly sorry to have given up the ghost if the good Lord had intended to take me. Maybe that's hard for you to understand. I mean, you was respectable people. Oh, now don't you go feeling bad about that. Nobody ought to feel bad about being lucky. You ought to feel thankful. Things ain't been exactly great for me the past few years. Oh, but I hope you can forgive me, for feeling the way I do. Well, or did. Life not being as dear to me as maybe it ought to have been. See, God and me, we got us a deal. I forgive him for putting me in such a place in life. And he overlooks me, thinking that it really ain't so bad. Oh, being dead. I think any of you would feel the same way if you was in me place. It wasn't always like this. Oh, no. Many mornings before I passed, I would wake up and I just could not make myself believe that my life had come to what it was. I was always poor. Now, that ain't what I mean. Me folks was poor. Me husband, when I married him, well, he was poor. Oh, but we was happy. It ain't so bad being poor if you got love and happiness in your life. I'm grateful to God that he let me be happy for a little while before he took it all away from me. My little girl died. She wasn't but 12 years old. That was the start of it. Or the end of it, which would be more to the point to say it like that. The end of my happiness. Before that, it wasn't so bad. Why, even when my little boy was born all crippled, it wasn't so bad. I mean, we took care of him the very best we could. That is when my husband started drinking, though. He never raised a hand to me. No, I want you to know that. And we never did without food or a roof over our heads for him to buy his liquor with. He drank. That's true enough. And after a while, I took to drinking too. After me little girl died. Meningitis, they said it was. Well, after that it wasn't more than 3-4 years before my husband, he died too. They said it was from all of his drinking. It was his liver, they says. All my friends called me Dark Annie. Dark Annie Chapman. Well, it ain't because of my complexion they call me that. They said it's because of me moods. Well, I couldn't help it. It's hard to smile when you ain't got nothing to smile about. I was sick that night, or morning I should say. It happened about 5:30 in the morning when I met the doctor. The sun was already coming up. I'd been sick for a while, but it'd come and go. I got consumption. Oh, I had consumption. Reckon I'm all cured now. Oh, but I was feeling poorly that morning. I hadn't had much to eat in 2 or 3 days, and I was still hurting from the fight. Now, look at me and you tell me, ain't I one to be getting in a fight? I mean, look at this shiner. Ain't she pretty? It was this woman from the lodging house, all over a piece of soap. I didn't have no soap, so I asked her, did she have some soap I could borrow? So she gives me this little sliver of soap, not much to it at all. I used it up, just making do. Well, she corners me down in the kitchen the other morning and she says, where's my soap, she says. Well, I used it up, I says. Wasn't enough to it for nothing. Well, then you got to pay me, she says. I ain't even got lodging money for tonight, I says. Reckon where I'm gonna get enough money to pay you for that little strip of soap. Well, then she jumps me. She whipped me good. All over a little sliver of soap. Not big enough to wash her face good. Ugh. I ain't been in any shape for fighting. Ugh. Nobody. Hell, I ain't been in any shape for fighting in so long I can't remember when. All over a little strip of soap. Well, the deputy, he tossed me out that morning. Oh, it was 7 September, it was. I was sitting down in the kitchen where it was warm. It was cold out that night. Already cold, being September. Oh, but it was warm in that kitchen, it was. No, it was 8 September, it was. Because it was already past midnight when he come in and asked me for my lodging money. Saturday, about 2 o'clock. He'd come in and he'd say, where's your DOS money? He says, well, I ain't got it, I says. That's why I'm sitting here in the kitchen. Well, then you got to get out, he says. Does it cost anything to sit here in the kitchen where it's warm, I says. Well, you can't sit around and nowhere if you ain't got your lodging money, he says. Well, I ain't got it, I says. Well, you got enough money to buy your beer, you got enough money to pay for your bed. Now pay up or get out. Well, I ain't got it, I says, but I'll get it. Just don't you be letting me bed to nobody else. I'll be right back. If he only had let me sit in that kitchen that night. What happened? Never what happened. Oh, it's all right though. If it hadn't happened to me, it would happen to somebody else. And I'd rather it have been me. I got the last laugh though. Turns out I didn't need that bed after all. It's practically morning anyway. Sun was already coming up. I knew I'd better get a head start on making my lodging money for that night. Otherwise, I wouldn't have no place to sleep. Oh, the streets was already filling up. Oh, lots of folks in the East End have to get up and about before the sun's up. I usually got up before sunup. I saw flowers on the street. Oh, and I did crochet work. But I was sick, been sick for a while, like I told you. So I hadn't made up nothing to sell, and I figured I had to get the money the only other way I could. Because if I didn't get that money, I knew that deputy, he would let my bed to somebody else, and he wouldn't let me in that night. Used to be I could just sit down by the fire to keep warm.
Don't take no more cold for an extra body in the room than if there ain't, do it? But he'd already put me out. And I knew I had to earn my next lodging, whether I was sick or not. I knew there were already plenty of men on the street. Warehouse workers, cart pushers, slaughtermen, and turns out there was a doctor out too that morning. I didn't have to walk more than 2 blocks from my lodging house before I met the doctor.
Funny, ain't it? Even in life ain't that precious to you, you'll still fight for it. Oh, I fought him. Just for a minute. Then I just give in. Oh, I knew who he was. Practically every woman in the East End, every woman in London knew about the killer. They wasn't calling him the Ripper then. No, and they wasn't calling him the Doctor then either. That all changed after he'd done with me. There was this yard out behind a tenement house where you could get some privacy. That's where I used to take other gentlemen. And that's where I took him. Right down the street from the lodging house. He seemed nice enough. But when he grabbed me by my throat and I saw that knife, I knew what he was about. I fought him. And I just stopped. I knew there was no point to it. It didn't last long. Not long at all. Another minute's pain. And then when me pain is all done with.
Folks think I ought to be all outraged over what he'd done to me body after I was dead. I don't know why I didn't feel it.
The newspapers? Even they wouldn't print the details of what he'd done to me. And the police surgeon at the inquest, he wouldn't even testify to it. But folks found out anyway, something like that's bound to get around. You know, it's because of what he done to me. Folks is calling him a doctor now.
The police surgeon, he's been cutting on folks for 20 to 30 years. At the inquest, he says, it would have took me an hour to have done what that killer done. And that killer done it in 10 minutes. He says only a person who knew what he was doing could have done what the killer done and done it so quick like. With it still being dark out.
Took me apart right proper like that gentleman did. That's not fit to speak of, but, well, he removed parts of me just like a skilled surgeon operating for that very purpose. Maybe he was doing it for that purpose. Well, I don't know. I don't care neither. Let everyone else be all shocked and outraged over what he done to me. No. I already done me part. I know women who've sold their bodies to the universities. Oh, doctors go to the universities all the time and buy up bodies to practice cutting on. Why, my friend, old Nat, she sold her body. They paid her right up front, they did. And then when she dies, she goes to the university for the doctors to practice cutting on. Now, how is that any different than what happened to me? I ask you. Well, except I didn't get paid for it. that doctor? No. He paid me in his own way. He give me my way out. They's all calling him a doctor now because of the way he operated on me. Like an expert. That's why they're calling him a doctor. I call him doctor for a different reason. When you're sick, you go to a doctor so he can make you all better. Well, I've been sick a long time. Sick in more ways than one. That doctor, he fixed me